So this is the before of what I have in this tiny space, and I'm gonna show you how you can film a YouTube video and make it look good even though you have a small space to work with. So this is my den, my work space, my home office space, if you will. This is a small space in my 1-bedroom condo. And this is where I also store a bunch of my filmmaking stuff and soft boxes and like different things. As you can see, it is not a very pretty space to look at, and I would like to have everything all set up for my YouTube videos just ready to go, but it's a challenge because I have nowhere else to put everything else that I have here. So every time I film, I have to move certain things out of the shot so that I'm able to get a nicer and a cleaner look. Right now, I'm going to show you what I do to this space to make it look good. And over here in this space, I've actually filmed a lot of my YouTube videos since 2020 or end of 2019. But along the journey, there are some things that I found that helped me to get a better looking YouTube video or a very better looking A-roll. I'll also be moving to a bigger space in a couple of weeks. So this is literally my last opportunity to make this video for you in this space that has kind of become semi-legendary for my YouTube channel. I have this standing desk, which is very, very useful. And it allows me to do video editing tutorials whenever I have to show my screen while standing up. To clear this space, all I need to do, because of the angle I'm shooting at, is just make sure these two shelves are clear and clean and look nice. So for my main key light, I use a C-stand, and I use this Moelis X100 light by June, which I really like because it's so small. That's it. And I use this mini softbox. Let me show you. I have made a video about this light if you're interested. And I use this tiny softbox, which is really small. The reason why I use this tiny softbox is because I like how it makes my entire scene a little bit moody, and there is sort of like a soft spotlight, if you want to call it that, just directly on me, on my upper body right here. And another reason why I use this small softbox is because a bigger softbox would be bigger and it'll take more space in this already small space. And another benefit of having this setup is that this I can leave just on this stand at all times and not have to like take it down or set it up again, as opposed to if I had a bigger softbox. Because as you can see from right here, this is right in the space where my closet is, and if I had a bigger softbox, it would just be a complete mess.
This is my closet?
At the back over here, I have a couple of lights. I usually use one of these lights. This one particularly is a pocket LED light, the M40 by June as well. And I just keep it in the warm color temperature and just use that to light my background. And then I use another light and I give it a little bit of a hue, a blue hue, and I put this right here. And I also have another light, this other tube light that I like to put usually just around here. The color just changed. There you go. Just around here, just on top of my desk. And that is the base. Oh, and I got one of these things that I got really early on when I started my YouTube channel because I like lightning bolts.
We need your lightning bolt.
And another thing too is like I'm right by the door, by the entrance to my apartment, to my condo. So yeah. So let me show you what it all looks now on camera. This is usually what my talking head videos look like, and I only have the one key light, as you can see, and because of that grid and that small softbox, I only have that hitting about here. And if I step away, you can see that I fall a little bit into the darkness. So that light is actually very localized, and actually really like that. Another thing that I used to do was use an LED panel, one of these ones, and put it on battery so I didn't have to worry about running cables, and use a soft box like this that it would just go in front of that LED panel. But again, as you can see, this is actually a little bit too large to just leave on in my space at all times. But sometimes when I want a little bit of a larger source in this space, and I'll use this. And if I'm filming something where I really need a larger source of lighting and a bigger softbox, then I'll go and actually set up my softboxes, which are tucked away behind there. The reason why I like to add some colors and some lighting in my background is because they give the entire scene a little bit of an extra pop. And especially with this tube light right here, I just like how it looks when it's blurred out in the background. But also, take a look at my rim, my shoulder right here, and we'll turn that on and see what happens. So I'm not sure if you can notice, but there's a tiny bit of a blue rim light just on this side, and that helps to add a little bit of separation between me and the background. So even if you have a tiny space to work with, you can still create depth in your shot. And depth is really important because it's going to make your A-roll look a lot nicer. Ideally, there'll be more distance between me and the background, but if you're not able to have that, here are a few things to keep in mind so that you can still create some sort of depth in your image. So the first thing is to add layers. What I do with this space is that I have this IKEA shelf, not just the wall behind me. I also have items in that shelf just to create a little bit more layering there. I rarely shoot on a wide angle because I like to, again, hide some of the clutter that I have down here. So I shoot a little bit tighter, actually, at about 50 mil. The other thing that you can do to create more depth is to shoot at a lower f-stop. I usually shoot my videos at minimum of f2.8. Sometimes I go all the way to f2 or f1.8. And that just helps in creating that blurred background. So let me take some of this depth away and let me show you the difference. So right now there's about maybe 2 arms length almost between me and my background. And because of that, I'm able to have a little bit of depth and have this blurred out. But this is what happens, and the light's still there, I haven't moved it. But this is what happens if I stand all the way at the back. As you can see, it is not as nice because more of this stuff is in focus and there isn't as much depth. I would try to get away from the background as much as you're actually physically able to do so in a small space. A lot of people actually like to shoot to the corner of a room or to the L of a room to add more depth. That is another tip if you want to create more depth in your image. So this is my corner and this is my other corner. So as you can see, even though I'm quite close to it, there's still a little bit of that separation between the subject, me, and the background. But most of the time, I just like to film this way because I just like showing the shelving. I'll be leaving links to all the gear that I use in the description below if you're interested. Another thing I wanted to mention too is that I do not have an overhead rig here for those instances when I'm doing flat lay shots and just showing products. So I have over here just these foam core things that I got at the dollar store, and I ended up buying some of these wrapping things, and I wrapped these sort of textures and things and stuff on these. So this is the one that I mostly use. You've probably seen this one in all of my videos. So it looks like a tabletop. Oh, there's another one that I rarely use, but this one is the one I use. So I just put this on top of my desk over here and move my camera over here and have this light just turned to face this tabletop, and this is how I film my flat lay photos whenever I'm showing something from the top. So I am actually quite excited to plan out my YouTube studio. When I move, I'll have an entire bedroom just for my YouTube studio and home office, so I'm pretty excited for that. Let me know in the comments below what are some must-haves in a home YouTube studio. If you have seen something or if you have one of these things in your own studio, let me know. I would love to check it out and just to start gather ideas on how to get my studio done. Also be documenting that process, so if you want a studio tour at the new place, stay tuned, stay subscribed. And before I leave, here are a couple of videos you could probably watch next, and I'll see you there.